All right, so last time you guys arrived at Sunder. You departed the Dromedary after receiving your wages for the journey, choosing to tail Helionaka and take Wintermoon up on her offer. Samael followed Helionaka with Arcane Eye to a building nearby, nearby to the Tidiku Den. Um, she entered the building, and you haven't seen her since, and you assume that she's still inside. You headed to the bazaar to burn a couple hours before your meeting with Wintermoon. Before you entered, though, you caught the sight of a tall, lanky human with slick black hair and a well-trimmed goatee. The man, finely dressed in silks, gave a silver to a beggar with words of wisdom before giving him silver to continue his way. The man was then promptly mugged behind this strange man's back and killed in a nearby alley. After catching his ear and identifying Ugbor and Pell, the man identified himself as Skin Skataz. He offered to help guide you should you find you were in need of it after getting your legs for the city, and he told you that you could find him in the governance building later in the week, perhaps. You grabbed some food at a small booth inside the bazaar, and after all but Vorik drank and had some what was called sandwich, you wandered into a tattoo shop. The vendor let you know the wares and general prices. Samael set up an appointment for tomorrow evening with an artist to begin the process of getting a dragon sleeve tattoo on one of his arms. He also told you about the availability and details of some magical tattoos that he had in stock. Now, Vorik, did you want to get one of those tattoos, the magical ones you said?
He's mute.
He is mute.
I'm mute and deaf.
You are deaf and mute.
Mute and deaf.
So yes, did you want to pick up one of those tattoos then?
Hell yeah. I want the, I'd really like to have all of them, but, you know, Vorik's rich, but not that. We're not that rich yet.
So inside the tattoo parlor in the bazaar, the halfling proprietor of the establishment was talking to all you and describing the process to Samael about getting his tattoo. And after describing the magical tattoo options, is when you probably want to pop up and do that. So the man is going through everything. Yeah, we got the top of the line here with the blood fury, whatever. And you got this, the other two down here. Prices are 2,500, 3, and 100. Of course, now you there. If you wanted to get a regular tattoo, and he starts going on to saying,
Do I recognize this place?
Scissors for something.
"What is it, baby?
I need scissors.
Scissors?
For something.
Okay, scissors. Let me get you some scissors. Here is.
I'm using it for something.
Okay, here's these. Make sure you have mommy help you. Okay. Roll a history check. See if you recognize this individual.
No. What about the establishment in general?
No, you're familiar with generalized storefronts in the bazaar. They rotate quite frequently, if not from one place to another. Then different things close up and open as different establishments and things. You know that there's tattoo places throughout Sunder here and there, but you don't recognize this individual or this establishment right off.
Alrighty. I'm gonna try that. So, which one was 100?
The 100 option was the Ghost Step. Then there was Barrier and Eldritch Claw for. No, I'm sorry, I got it backwards. Eldritch Claw was 1, Ghost Step and Barrier were 3, and Blood Fury was 2,500.
What did barrier do again?
Barrier basically gives you a buff to your armor, provided you don't have any other magical or buffs otherwise to your armor.
Kind of like casting shield, essentially, or like mage armor-ish.
Let me double check that real quick, so I'm not wrong.
Like, are these permanent, or is it something like with barrier, would it need to be activated like mage armor is, or like shield is, or is it just a forever bonus to the AC?
Basically, while you are not wearing armor, the tattoo will grant you an armor class depending on the tattoo's rarity. Based on the price of this one, you can assume it's not that intense. So in this case, it'll buff you to 12 plus your dex mod.
Okay, that's shittier than what. We'll forget about that one. I definitely want the ghost step or whatever it's called.
Okay. Sorry, you want the ghost one?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Well, let's after we finish up here with this scheduling process, we'll have you step back here and we'll get that taken care of for you. Payment up front. You good for that? There you go.
All right.
He finishes scheduling Sam in the book. And once he's done with that, he turns back to you, takes the key out, unlocks the glass cabinet, lifts it up, and grabs the 2-foot long rod with the forked end out of the cabinet and closes it back up. All right, that'd be 300. You got it up front, ready to go?
Yep.
All right. And he reaches out to accept the gold and takes it and puts it behind the counter under a lockbox. All right, take it back in here with me into the first booth. Shouldn't take but a minute. And he leads you back into the first stall, which is basically it's just walls vertically lined along the aisle here as you go onto the back of the store. It's like a mall store, how they're much deeper than they are wide. But when you get in the first booth, there's just a chair with a foot pedestal on the bottom that's kind of built onto the chair, and he instructs you to sit down in the chair. And after you do, he gets his situation ready. He kind of gets his seat turned around, cleans off his work area, turns to you. Okay, so where do you want it?
What's this thing look like?
It is a 2-foot long rod with a forked end on it. It's a completely smooth, like machined smooth rod that's 2 foot long, slightly tapered, so one end is slightly larger, but the head of it that has the needles on it has 4 needles lined up in a straight line.
What's the tattoo look like? Or it takes shape on its own, right?
Yeah, it kind of has a magical essence where it tends to display certain things, but you can shape it a little bit with your will, as the process of attunement is set in. But yeah, it tends to want to establish itself as more of a shield or a magical rune style barrier, that kind of thing. It fluxes, but it depends on what its kind of mood is and how it reacts to you.
Let's do. Let's do the chest.
All right, I'm gonna need you to strip down real quick, Dan.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and take my top off and whatnot.
Okay, so you want center, left pec, right pec, stomach, does it matter?
I'm actually trying to come up with something that makes a little sense here. Let's do like chest, like pecs.
Okay, so this is gonna hurt a little bit. All right, you ever had that tattoo before?
excited. You should have more.
Yes.
Okay, so you're familiar with now. If you have a magical tattoo or normal tattoo.
Normal.
Okay, it's very similar, but where this is magical, we don't use any ink. There's no in and out. There's no drawing. The way this is going to work, all right, is I'll take this long rod, and he's holding it like above your chest right now. He's like, we're going to stab these 4 little needles into your chest. You got to hold it there for like 30 minutes. While you hold it there, as you focus on the magic of the rod and the needles, it will transfuse itself into your body and your essence and kind of dissolve and drip into itself into you. And once your attunement is done within the next half hour, then the tattoo will fully establish, and then you're good to go. Now, but for that hour, it's going to be like you've been sitting for an 8-hour tattoo. All right?
All right. Let's do this.
Okay. All right, here we go. And he is going to take the needles, line them up with the very center of your chest, right above your sternum, and just gently but forcefully inject the needles into you. Now I need you to roll me a Constitution save.
I was ready to do that on my own, actually. That's like I got to.
13, okay? It hurts, but not enough for you to visibly show it. You're able to withhold yourself. It hurts, and it takes you a minute to get past that for a second, because it's like hot. It's like the a normal tattoo needles, how it goes in and out very fast and painfully, but it feels like that, but hot, and in one spot, not moving. As you hold there for over the half hour, you look at the rod and study it. Its purely smooth essence begins to shimmer and almost glitter in the light, like it was moving, but it's not. It's being held still by this halfling. And slowly, after maybe 10-20 minutes, it starts to dissolve from the top down, and it collapses almost telescopically into itself. And you feel the heat disperse in your chest, spilling out from the injection point out to the ends of your muscles. And eventually the entire rod goes into the needles, and then the needles at the very end sink into your skin, right out of the hands of the halfling. And you sit there and you feel your entire chest and body burn. Do you have a preference or a force of will you wish to impact upon the ghost step tattoo as far as how it appears? Is there any way you wish to influence on its appearance?
He wants it to look like me. I'll flash my eyelashes at him.
You turn invisible, but you look like Sam whenever you turn invisible.
Yeah, dude. No one will ever know.
Hold on 1 second. What color would you say?
This tattoo is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of an ethereal purplish blue. Okay, well you're free to go. You got, like I said, you got to think about that and really concentrate on it for about a half hour or so as you go along. But you're good to get up and walk around and go about your business. Here in the next half hour or so, it's going to materialize in its permanence. Now, if you ever lose focus on that during the process, or if you choose to unattune to the item, the tattoo will ooze back out of you the same way it went in, more or less, and the rod will appear somewhere near your body and fall to the ground. You can reuse that as you will, but same process more or less. But as long as you maintain the attunement, you're good to go. All right, buddy. Then he kind of puts his hand on your shoulder and lifts you up out of the chair.
All right.
So while you're thinking about your appearance of tattoo, you guys get up and proceed on your way out of the shop and on to other things. But after that time, you guys met up with Winter Moon, and she takes you to her safe house, which is also fairly close to the Tidiku Den, down a crooked alley and behind several hidden objects and magical locks. She leads you in and locks the door behind you, prepares you a dish of rice that only Ugbor and Vork take her up on. You guys have decided to attempt to sneak into the den of the leader of one of the 5 Pillars of Sunder to make sure the package gets to its location and maybe perhaps get some more details on the contents and the recipient of the package. For the first time in at least months for some of you, or ever perhaps, you fall asleep to the sound of urban life, muffled late night partying, drinking, music, fighting, and conversation in the streets gently lulls you to sleep. So now, all of you are asleep in the main floor of Winter Moon's hideout. Winter Moon taking herself into her private quarters to sleep and perhaps prepare for tomorrow. Now, based on your perception rolls from last time, Samael and Pel and Vork, all of you receive in the middle of the night, even though you're basically in and out of sleep. You're sleeping, but of course Sam is in trance. But
Technically, Bork is too.
Yeah.
what's that?
Bork would be too.
Oh, do you have the 4-hour thing? Does that help?
Yeah, I'm with it.
Okay, that's right. Yeah, I've heard about that. So, yeah, so Vork and Samuel are tranced, and Hell is asleep. But all of you, through your various states, Hell through light sleep, are able to see at around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, somewhere in that neighborhood, the door to Winter Moon's room opens and closes as she walks out and goes over to one side of the room and pulls back a very heavy curtain to peer out the window. She lets the curtain fall back, turns around and looks at you guys in the room, scanning.
I mean, I assume we'll be awake by now because we only needed 4 hours.
Mm.
I mean, if Pell heard it, he would just like look over. And she's like looking over, he'll just like wave his fingers.
I guess kind of squint if it's brightening things up. Acknowledge that she's there.
She, after acknowledging that most of you are awake, well, are you ready for our escapade for today? Do you require more sleep?
No, I'm
Is it
fine.
still like, is it nighttime still or like that?
It is dark outside, yeah. I mean, from what you can tell from the little bit of windows she opened and your internal clock, it should be dark.
Did we get a long rest? Or...
You can consider it a long rest. Yeah, nothing's happened in the last 2 days. You should be basically at full.
Fuck yeah. Just need them lucky rolls back. Oh yeah, I'm lucky now.
Yeah.
Are you?
No, I'm not real lucky now. Dude, last time I rolled a 1, then I used lucky, and I rolled another 1.
I think I heard that.
I was butthurt real bad.
So, am I to understand correctly that we are going to investigate this package in the Tidiku Den? This is our current quest, yes?
Yeah, I'd rather do it sooner than later.
This is very fine with me. Now, I want you to understand. After establishing that was your intent on the boat, I took initiative to track a trail in the compound and case some of the guards and their chiefs. I should be able to get us in and out quickly, but do note that after this I will be unable to help you with anything for fear of being associated with you or this event, and in the event that this whole espionage intent goes, tits up, as they say, I will be piecing out as hard as I can. Are we understood? I will throw you exactly under the trolley.
Well, luckily we do have a couple of advantages if we're going into this.
Such
Or
as
can kind of do this little mind thing where we all talk to each other.
okay.
So that at least that way we can all keep in touch while we're in there.
Communication is key. Last night you said that only the two of you, and she points to Vorik and Samael, were to be headed into the compound. Is this still true?
I think whoever's the sneakiest should go with. But I do have a way of being able to tell if the box is even in there or not.
Okay, this would be
Okay.
helpful.
Yeah, I should go. I kind of have to get close to the estate itself to be able to tell.
How close do you need to be? We are roughly 200 feet from the outer walls.
Well, I have to be within, say, like 1,000 feet.
Well, we are definitely there. If you have
Well-
a magical means of conveyance.
Well, let me try. And Pale will like sit down for a second and pull out his little holy symbol, look at it for a second, and just like raise it up and it'll like glow like a soft green light. And I'm gonna cast fucking locate object.
Okay.
And I will talk about the box and I'll try to see if I can find it.
Okay. Reaching out to Saloon and trying to gain assistance with the location of the subject in this massive and intricate city. You do so and look at your focus, close your eyes, and as you reopen your eyes, you see almost as if walls don't exist. A square of green lights up in your vision in the direction of the northeastern wall of the room that you're in.
I'll just like point to it. Yeah, it's that way.
Yes, that would be the direction we are headed.
Well, I can do this for about 10 minutes.
Well, it would not do much good if you are here, so does that mean you're coming with us?
Well, how far does your mind thingy work, little board?
I don't think we have fully tested it, but I mean, we've spoke within a mile.
Well, I feel like it's a lot farther than where we are from right now, so it should be able to work. I just won't be able to tell how close you are if you get near it.
I guess we'll figure out when we try it. We can all go. We all just don't have to go in.
I'm not really the sneakiest. I have to say it though. I've
Well, if you,
smacked his stomach.
as long as you don't make too much of a racket and you follow my lead, I don't see it being too much of an issue. But this is totally up to you.
Sorry.
Well, kind of able to make myself invisible, but just not for very long.
And Vorik, in the meantime, your tattoo has established itself, and it takes the shape of wafts of bluish purple energy coming off of a what seems to be a polygonal cloak and like an image, like a very rough image of a figure wearing a cloak, rushing in a direction, and there's streaks of ethereal energy coming off and before this character that is centered on your chest.
All right.
Well, if we are all established, I'm as ready as I can be. And at this time, you're taking a minute for your eyes to have adjusted. You now can notice that Wintermoon is dressed in dark blues and grays, and her large brim hat has been replaced by a beret of sorts.
So I can try to go as close as I can. I don't want to try to risk the mission though by being a bit clunky.
It is fine. My only ask is whether or not you come with us on the mission. I would need everybody to leave my premises while I am not here.
Understand.
I don't trust anyone that much.
Well, Ugor, you might have to get up, buddy. You might have to wake up and start kicking.
Ugbor grumbles and then turns over and falls on the ground because he forgets he's on a cot. Okay, well, for better or for worse, I say now's the bestest time as any before it gets too light out. Are you all ready? Do you need a moment?
Maybe one second. I can't even wait for a second.
All right.
I'm here.
Alright.
Believe we're ready.
All right, well then follow me. And she goes to the door and unlocks her locks very quickly and opens the door and waits for you guys to head outside. After you do, she follows you out and closes the door behind her and enables her locks of various sorts, repositions the pallet lid where it belongs in front of her door, pulls aside some cloth and hides that as well. And she begins to walk in the direction down the alley, further from where you entered the alley. It is dark, but wide enough that if you stay close to Wintermoon, you should be able to keep a hold of her shape with your dark vision to be able to follow pretty easily. So, following her through the alley, she cuts between several buildings until she gets to one of the main thoroughfares, and looks to the left and the right, looks around. I'm gonna have everybody with her make a perception check, please.
Channing, real quick. Can you turn your TV down slightly?
I have something for you.
Oh, I love it. Thank you, baby. I love it. It's beautiful. Huh? Okay. If you can bring me back something without being awkward, that'd be awesome.
I thought that was on the room.
If you can bring me back something without being awkward, that would be awesome. Okay. Sorry, I had to talk to little girl. So I see Pell's perception. Did anybody else roll with that?
You want me to roll?
Yeah, anybody that's with Wintermoon. If you decide to stay behind somewhere else to not be in the way, you can do that. But if you're with Wintermoon, I was going to have you roll perception. Okay, 20 and 24, 12. Vorik and Pell. You see there's some people in the street, but not very many at all. There's even one or two that are asleep in different alleys or up against buildings and things. She crosses the thoroughfare where you're at and goes to the left of the compound into the tent district. And when you enter there, you see various forms of tents and lean-tos and things. It's not too unfamiliar from Road work that you recall. It looks kind of yes, it looks very similar to that. But most everybody here is strung out and burnt out asleep, and there's various rats and tats and garbage everywhere, and it's not a good look. But she bobs and weaves through a couple tents until she gets right about here, cuts between these two buildings, and once she gets to the back corner of the compound there, she pulls you guys back around the building after taking a look. Okay, we must wait here for a moment. They will switch guard shortly, and then in the time between the guard shift, we should be able to make our move.
So, Lord, can you do the mind talk?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and activate that.
Okay, roll for the hours on that.
And Sam, I know you're pretty good with some of that magic stuff.
Yeah.
Can you do anything to help us? I don't know, maybe be sneakier or something?
I can do all sorts of illusions. I can cast invisibility.
Would it
Pretty
last
good.
longer than a minute? 'Cause I can do that. But it lasts not very long.
A minute?
Yeah, that's how long mine lasts.
Yes. Mine lasts an hour or so. Okay. I don't know what janky magic you've been learning,
Kind of just comes to me.
but yeah, I can cast some invisibility. I got some illusions. Just depends on what we need.
Well, if we can all talk in our heads, we can use the illusions, but we might need that invisibility. I might be fine. As I said, I'm very tubby, not very sneaky.
Oh, Rory. When you cast the the psychic whispers, did you include Winter Moon in that?
Yeah, I was going to include her since Cyborg wasn't here.
Okay. Okay, so
Could you still include Ugly?
I think it's 3.
oh, 3. I mean,
I don't know, let me see.
by all accounts, he is technically with you as far as PCs are concerned.
Yeah, up to 3 creatures you can see.
No.
So Winter Moon is not included. You're going to do Ugborn instead.
No, I think you should still do it.
We'll do Wintermoon. Since I'm assuming me and her probably do most of it as far as stealth wise.
Yeah.
We would tell Ugborn to just like kind of hang out around the tents.
He can keep a lookout.
Yeah, until we come back.
Says, all right, good enough, and he kind of props himself up against the building and tries to blend in, but also stay awake.
So, Phil, about that invisibility, I have to be touching you.
I think isn't that just to cast it?
Says my range is touch.
But that's just to cast it.
I don't know. I guess I misinterpreted it wrong,
Now again, you just touch it and it casts it, and then you just maintain concentration on the spell.
You should have left it. I just want to see this whole time. Somebody else just holding on to nothing, following people around. I have to touch you for you to be invisible. So it just defeats the purpose. It's
but
just
I could
general.
also be invisible though. I can make myself invisible.
You have to hold hands the whole time.
I mean it's weird. The range on the spell is hand job. It's hard to, I don't know.
I have to go a little bit lower.
I wish I would have said that instead.
Get over here.
Okay, so I can what's like infinite distance, like
Yeah, like once you cast it, like as long as you maintain concentration on it, it don't matter how far we go.
okay. Wow.
It's just you can't cast like another concentration spell at the same time.
Okay, so going. We need to move now. And as you look up, you see a figure that was leaned up against the edge of this 20-foot wall has straightened himself up, and he's starting to walk away. Okay. Follow me.
Make me go.
And Winter Moon starts to very quickly walk from between these buildings up to the edge of the wall, pulling out from her side 2 grappling hooks, 1 braided rope, and very quickly one little flip, flips it up to the top and tosses both grappling hooks over the wall, and waits for them to catch, pulls on the rope, makes sure that they can hold weight, and passes 1 rope out behind her as she hangs onto the other. Who's grabbing the rope?
What was that?
Winter Moon has established 2 grappling hooks with braided ropes across the 20-foot wall that is the barrier of the compound. She pulled them tight, make sure they can bear weight, and have caught on something. And is hanging on to one rope and then is holding out the second rope behind her. So who's grabbing the second rope?
I'll grab it.
After passing off the rope, she begins to climb her own rope, feet on the wall, and pulling herself up the rope. I need Warwick right now to make an athletics check.
Athletics or acrobatics?
Athletics. Well, okay. A little bit of a hard start for you, but you do manage to get your feet, and you walk about 6 feet up the wall. Okay, make another athletics check. $21. You kind of got your stride. You've gone a little bit farther, and you make another 6 feet up the wall, and one more athletics check.
One more.
One more. You slip a little bit. You don't fall, but you don't make any progress. It's you've never had to climb a wall like this before, so it's hard to get your grip on it. But make another check.
The dice is dirty. That was cocked between an 8 and like a 15, and it read it as the low.
Okay, getting your feet together again, you make another 6 feet up the wall, and then as you get to the 18th foot up the wall, Winter Moon, who's already over the wall, reaches down and grabs your hand and helps to pull you over. Pell and Sam, are you guys going to begin the climb?
So, about making me invisible, buddy, I think you should do that.
All right.
And it's dark outside, right?
It is dark, yes.
So I'm going to put my palm on Pell's back, and I'm going to concentrate for a second.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to disappear from this realm.
Send him to the shadow realm.
Anyone else? Anyone else want to be invisible? Should I cast this on myself?
I'm good.
I think they're pretty sneaky.
I'm
Cast it on yourself.
going to cast this on myself. So I'm going to put my hand on my chest. I guess I don't have to touch myself, but I'm going to do it anyways, out of habit. And then I'm just going to disappear as well. Also, while you're invisible, can you see invisible?
No, you cannot see invisibility, you just are invisible.
I can see invisibility.
Of course. Those glasses, right?
Yeah, pretty perceptive.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to climb this. I'm just going to fly up.
Okay, so Pell and Sam, are you guys going to climb the wall?
Sorry. Yeah.
Well, I'm just going to fly up.
Okay, easy enough. Pell decides to use his what's it called? There's a name for it.
Steps of the night.
Steps of the Night. He's going to basically just air jump up the wall and grab onto the side and pop himself over. Sam, are you going to climb the rope? What are you doing?
I'm going to. Yes, I'm going to climb.
Okay, make me an athletics check.
I told him to do it, Mom.
17. Easy enough. You take a running start, grab the rope, and make a couple feet up the wall. You make it about 7 feet up the wall. Was that one? You got to make another check.
A what?
Another athletics check.
Ugh.
Your previous confidence, maybe you've gotten you far enough, but then you slip and fall about a foot or two. So you're now about 5 feet up the wall. You got to make another check.
How tall was the wall again?
20 feet. 12, you make another 4 or 5 feet up the wall. So you put you about 10 feet. Now you're about halfway up. Make another check. 10, 9. You don't lose any progress, but it takes you a second. You can't get anywhere right now. Another check. 19. Take a breath, deep breath in. Reestablish your grip. Pull yourself up in a couple heavy pulls, and you're now like 17 feet up. Maybe one more check. 4. You slide down a couple feet as you reach up to grab the rope again. You miss, and you fall down a couple feet and have to catch yourself. So you're now 13. And you fall another couple feet. So you're now about 8 feet up the wall, going up and down.
Fuck this. I'm casting Misty Step.
What's the range on Misty Step?
Misty Step is 30 feet.
Okay. Yep. So after going up and down a little bit with the wall, you decide to just let go and free fall for a second, and then fall into mist, and then appear on top of the wall next to Rory. That seems a little excessive, but fine.
Yeah, well, you don't have to talk about it afterwards.
It would be like a poof, and then there'd just be nothing there because he's invisible.
It's true.
Just a little.
Come with me this way. And she leads you over to the main square of the guard tower on this corner. And inside the tower, there was little more than a platform to stand and look outside, and stairs that lead spirally down the tower to the ground. And she begins to descend down the stairs. What do you guys do?
I would float over. Can I still see the box? Has it been like 10 minutes?
I'd say you can still see the box. You're on the very end of the spell, but you can still see the box. It is glowing inside the compound.
Like, do I have like a specific direction or anything? Can I just be like, it's that way?
It looks to be more or less in the very center.
It looks like it's in the center, guys. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold this though. In the mind, all of mine.
Mm-hmm. Well, you best hurry then. Come on, follow me. Here you guys want to
Well, let's. I guess we need to hurry along.
Yeah. So, assuming that you are following Winter Moon down the stairs, when she gets to the bottom of the stairs, she very carefully opens the door to the guard tower and looks around, and then swings it open very carefully and waits for you guys to exit before closing it very carefully, not making a sound. She leads you then over to a side door on the center of the compound. The compound is a little bit taller than the walls outside, accounting for the roof and everything. There's what seems to be 2 stories to this building. It's almost perfectly square. There are windows mainly on the top floor, but a couple on the bottom. And she goes over to one of the doors on the outside on the side. It seems to be very plain and just a plain side access door. She goes over to it, tests it. It's locked. She pulls out a couple tools, looks around, starts to pick the lock. After just a few seconds, you hear it, and then she finishes turning the lock and pulls the door out, ushers you all inside, and then closes the door behind you once all of you have entered. Now, you guys are inside of the Tidiku den. You are once you enter this door, you are in a hallway. The hallway goes left and right from where you just came in. I need everybody here to make a perception check.
Sorry, I had to get my food.
No problem.
Oh my gosh.
Okay.
I'm back.
Make me a perception check. Okay. All 3 of you hear voices talking to the right down the hallway. And before you have time to really say anything, Winter Moon starts to go left in the opposite direction.
I just follow her.
Okay. You heading further down this way, you guys still listening and trying to stay quiet. I'm gonna have everybody make a stealth check for me as well, since you're trying to stay quiet while moving at this point, because you're inside the compound. Okay. 18, 25, and 14. You guys are pretty stealthy. You don't think you're making too much noise, nothing too obvious anyway. And following Winter Moon, you start to hear voices coming from the other direction, Because there seems to be a hallway that goes almost around the perimeter of the building, and as you're nearing the side, like where it would turn to a corner, you you hear voices like around that corner, and Winterman stops and looks, tries to get a beat on everything, and sees a door on the to her right, so it leads further into the compound, and she looks down the hallway and tries to measure something, trying to figure out where she is, and by this point, Pelno, your spell has faded, so you do not know where the box is. Okay.
Was it in the direction we were heading towards, though?
Yes, as far as you can tell, yes.
Okay.
Okay, so my directions were correct, and she starts to pull out another lockpick and starts to work on this door. This should lead us into the reception area where they drop all the packages and things, and we should get there. And then the door unlocks. We should be able to find what we're looking for in here. And she opens the door for him and ushers you all inside. What are you guys doing?
We follow.
Go in.
I
Okay.
follow.
If you guys all go inside, you see Winter Moon turn around and adjust something with the lock before she closes it behind you guys. And in this room, for lack of a better word, it seems to be a foyer of some sort. It's a small room that has a door where you came in, and a door going into a different area. And to the side, there is storage spaces where it seems that there are just some coats and things hanging up. But that's about it in this room. By the way, I didn't mention the walls of the interior compound are wood. The exterior wall was stone, but inside it's wood, and the floor seemed to be a square tile. But so you're in this room made wood, tile floors, and the door is also made of wood that's facing you. Okay, if I think right there is our destination. Does anybody want to go first, or?
Like sneakier sort should kind of. Or I don't know, we're kind of invisible, so.
I'll go.
Okay, so you're going up in the door.
Is it unlocked?
You reach for the door, and it is locked. If you want to, you can roll me a. Yep, there you go. Yeah, 31. Nice. Without any effort at all, you have to pick the lock, and it just frees. It frees almost immediately as soon as you pick your lockpick in. You take it out and turn the door. As you turn the door and begin to push it inwards to open the door, my thing stopped. Hold up. Forgot to do that. There we go. As you push the door inwards, the door is taken out of your hand, and someone opens the door from the inside. You look inside this room, and it is a dining hall. Inside this dining hall, now staring at you, are 6 guards that you can see in within immediate view, and some of them are sitting down, some of them are standing up. Some have weapons, some have magic crackling at their fingertips, and there's even more sitting around the table. It's probably six guards standing and 6 guards sitting at this table full of food. Dvorak, being in front, you recognize 2 people at the table as your mother and father. Also at the table, beside your mother, who is wearing a tattered white clothing of some sort. You see the orange and black striped face of Tosvavas. Welcome! Welcome, friends. Please come in. Please. We've just sat down for a bit of food. There's always room at Tosvavas' table, eh?
Where's the door at?
The door is. Let me get a thing here real quick.
You ready to garbage cans?
You guys are right. You guys are right here. This guard here Yep. Yeah, you guys are right there. That guard is the one who opened the door for you. So what do you guys do?
Your head's on.
Please, please come in. Make yourselves at home. And Wintermoon walks past you, past all three of you, into the center of the room, across the table from him, and kneels on one leg. Tosvavas, it has been a while. I have delivered our package as promised. Yes, you have. Loyal as always. So, Gandu, please give Miss Moon her promised reward. 2,000, I think it was. And this guard in the back takes a large pouch of what appears to be coin as it jingles as he pulls it off the table. And the weight of it is obvious in his walk as he walks it across the room over towards Wintermoon and hands it to her. Thank you very much. I have other things to attend to, so I will not partake in the glorious spread you had prepared, but all the same, Mr. Tosvalas, I am at your disposal should you need me. Not a problem, Miss Moon, I totally understand. And she rises and turns to leave out the left door of this room, but not before stopping for a second, looking at Vorik and you guys, opening her bag of money that she just got, takes out 1 gold and flicks it at Vorik. Consider the deposit repaid. And then walks out the door on this side here before this guard walks her out and then locks the door and then retakes his position.
One second, guys. I'm telling my daughter about before she leaves.
Okay.
I want to snag a fucking coin out of the air.
Mm-hmm.
Get this shit.
There he is.
There's a man.
The boy.
You picked the perfect time of year.
I see you right.
It sucks.
Hey man, you're great timing, man. Okay,
Fine.
so we're waiting on Cody to get back from walking his daughter out, but yeah. So catch you up real quick. Vorik picked up one of the magical tattoos at the parlor. You guys woke up in Wintermoon's hideout. We established a plan of
Let's
infiltration.
back up to that tattoo.
What about it?
What tattoo was it?
He picked
I
up
got the ethereal step.
the ghost step.
Ghost Step. Nice.
After Wintermoon established a plan on how to break into the compound and told you what she knew briefly, she helped you guys sneak into the compound. You were keeping watch outside. Did you want to keep watch outside or want to come with them?
I want to come in with them. I'm the muscle.
Cool. So you're here as well.
Oh, that's rough.
Wintermoon managed to break you into this point when, where on the other side of this door, she told everybody was the receiving area where packages and things should be. And upon opening the door,
Certainly
Vorik,
not. It's the damage dealer. Sorry.
upon opening the door, Vorik had the door snatched out of his hand by a guard who pulled it open. And before you are approximately 12 guards, Vorik's parents, and Tosvavas.
Oh, so we're in a fight.
You're in a room with...
We're not in a fight yet.
No.
But Winterman saw us out.
Yeah, Wintermoon then kneeled before Tosvavas, accepting her reward for turning you in, and gave Vorik his 1 gold deposit back on letting you guys stay in her room.
Oh my gosh.
And then
Me
she
and Sam
left.
are invisible right now too.
Yeah, Sam and Pell are invisible. So that's where
Are
you're
they
at.
outside or are they inside?
Who? Oh no, they're inside. They're with you.
No, they're inside. Okay, but they don't. They're not. Are we rolling initiative?
No, not right now. Not yet.
Oh
Why
yeah,
are they invisible?
we snuck in.
For sneaky purposes.
Yeah.
Well, we thought we were sneaking in, and then it turned out to be a trap.
Do I need to roll sneak to see if I am detected?
Oh no, it don't matter now.
No, unless you're invisible, you're pretty well. You're all set.
Okay.
And Tisvaz has welcomed you to partake of the large breakfast spread on his table. He beckoned you to please come in and make yourselves at home. And on the table there is a large spread of turkey and scrambled eggs and jellies and crumpets and croissants and toast and a large amount of breakfast items, including sausages and things and juices and milks.
Would Ugbor have gotten the sense that this dude is as filthy as we think he is?
I don't believe you have any particular reason other than what you've been told, and you haven't been told much.
Okay.
So can we rectify
All right,
that
guys.
we didn't include Wintermoon in the group
What's
chat? We
up,
just have
Ugbor?
Ugbor instead again.
Yeah, we can say that Ugbor is part of the mental chat right now.
Okay. Because she just would have walked away and we still would have been able to talk to her.
Just the whole time, just, you fucking bitch. You suck. Just fucking hounding her
Or
though.
like getting stabbed and stuff. Fuck you.
Is this Tosvathus?
Yes.
He's a tiger.
Wintermoon.
Check out message. Is that pretty well what I have?
That's exactly what you have.
Okay.
This
It's not on here, so I'm gonna have to like
Yeah.
customize.
By the way, how does this audio sound?
Kind of garbagey, but I can get you.
Kind of garbage.
Kind of garbage. No, dude.
Yeah. So we're
I feel like
thinking.
speaking through a Nintendo
You don't sound super clear. I can hear you, but you don't sound super clear.
Yeah. You kind of sound like really far away.
Hang on a minute.
I mean, I can't say much. It's fucking other headphone I got. Fucking trash.
Dude, so Tara starts work at US Bank on the 14th, right? They sent her this monitor. It's a 27-inch, like 180 hertz monitor. Dude, it's so nice.
Wow.
It's all fancy and rotates, wheels.
Sucks.
Oh yeah.
We're just gonna use the. There.
Why are tattoos not on?
D&D Beyond?
Yeah, D&D Beyond.
They are their magic items.
I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna buy a PC mic, like an actual desk mic.
Gotcha.
These earbuds, it sucks that the mic quality is so bad. They're $100 gaming earbuds.
I still can't find it.
Should be.
Do you have Tasha's installed on your thing?
I think we have it already.
It should be unless my stuff ran out. And
Where we're in the campaign together, we should have it if Matt has it.
I have it. It's just not loading my fucking.
The audio sounds great on my end, but
Okay.
man,
That's good.
I'm still kind of bitter. I'm still kind of bitter. I was really hoping this was going to be my fix.
I mean, like I said, I can hear you. It's fine. It's just you sound distant.
Yeah. They're Raycons. So it's wireless earbuds, but they're supposed to be for gaming.
Excuse me.
That's it
The
right here.
the fidelity of like as headphones, no mic, is great. It's awesome.
Now, what one are you trying to find?
Ghost Step.
I don't see that.
Says it's from Tasha's Cauldron of Everything. Wondrous item, tattoo, very rare.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
Well, it has different stages of rarity. The one you have is uncommon.
Oh,
Wait, no, I'm sorry. I was thinking of something else. No, you're fine. Never mind.
Yeah, I don't know. I see it right here. I don't know how to like get it to pop up on D&D Beyond.
We can figure that out later. But once again, Tozavas beckons you. Please, we have much to talk about, and as well as breaking our fast, we must also celebrate. For the prodigal son has come home. And there's an underlying purr to his voice.
What are my pants done?
They are just sitting there. You can't see much of them because where they're sitting at the table next to Tosvavas, they are kind of sunken into their seats. They have very weary faces on. Your mother's eyes are bloodshot and just bags under their eyes. They don't look like they don't look definitely well.
So they seem more like they're there as slaves, not there as part of this, right?
Correct. You would assume so.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna approach.
So, before we get started, I think it is improper thing to introduce ourselves. And Tosvava stands up. He is a large individual. He has the shape of a tiger of sorts. He's wearing dark green and pink silks. He has gold bangles on his wrists and earrings. And he's wearing a something of a belt that goes. It's a very thick sash that goes all the way around his body that ties everything together. I am Tosvavas Tidiku. I am the head of the Tidiku family here in Sunder, who heads the indulgence sector of the city, one of the 5 pillars. I know of Mr. Hexania. Who are the rest of you? And Ugbor is there, and suddenly Pel and Samael are there as one of the mages in this room has cast Dispel Magic.
Hello. Guess I'll just walk up then.
Who did that? Which one?
It was this guy right here. Please tell me who you are, that I might know how to properly address my guests.
Name's Ugbor.
Well, I'm Pel and El. You can call me Pel.
I'm gonna give him a fake name.
Do it.
So my name is Dares.
John Smith.
John Smith.
So you introduce yourself as Dares?
Dares.
Dares.
Derce.
Okay. Ugbor, Pale, Dares, Vorik. Please sit. There are plates before you. Please fill them at your own disposition and enjoy yourselves.
Don't gotta tell me twice. Ugbor digs in.
Tozavas also takes his plate and tears a leg of turkey off of one of the roast turkeys that is before him, puts that on, grabs a couple croissants and some jelly and fills his plate up. So, Vorik, it looks like the world has treated you well. You look strong. Where has their travels taken you? He sits down and begins to eat his food.
I would assume you already know that.
I don't, in fact. Tosvavas eventually finds what he wants, but I do not know its entirety of travel. Or perhaps I just want to hear it to confirm what I know. Who's to say? But I asked you a question.
Where have my travels taken me?
Do you not remember?
No, I was just
Okay.
restating the question.
So, right, sorry to interrupt. Can we
Oh, you're fine. I'm
we
pulling up
can
the map.
talk to each other currently, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna ask Vork, hey, do you know this guy? Have you met him before?
See me laying on top of the whole pile of clothes, dying. And with his pants off.
He he's a slave trader that I was born into servitude for.
Ah,
And the other people?
The two beside him are my parents that I have not seen in years. I assumed them dead.
After waiting for just a moment of silence, Tosavas takes his arm and puts it around your mother and puts a couple claws out on her shoulder on the other side. Please, I'm sure that I'm not the only one curious as to your whereabouts. Your parents were very worried about you.
I bet they were.
It was hard to watch their despair, but it does bring me great pleasure to have them here for breakfast today. I heard you were coming, and I insisted that they be here to greet you as well, as I knew it would ease their pain. He takes another bite of of a croissant as he's waiting on your answer.
As far as travels go, the majority of the East Coast for a while.
And when Captain Sergir lost you, what else did he lose? How did he lose you? Where is he now? These things I truly do not know.
He lost everything. Everyone except me.
Takes a drink of something in a tall glass and puts it down. Pity. He was useful. Now, just to clarify, are you standing where your token is, or are you actually sitting down?
I'm staying tonight sitting. I don't trust these guys to sit down.
Also, I moved up near Ugborg as well.
Okay. So make sure we're established.
Mentally, I want to tell Samael to keep a watch at our backs because of that dude is still at the door.
I can see, from where I'm standing, I imagine my peripherals, I can see
Yeah.
these people, yeah.
Okay.
Somebody, you see the guy who let you in has moved in front of the door after closing it. And people around the room start to shift a little bit as you guys have entered and began talking, and the gentleman who let Winter Moon out is now guarding this door, as well as the guard on the other side of the room guarding the only other door in the room. And the other guards have begun to close in at strategic points. Well, this is quite a tale. What happened in the north to your captain?
Same thing that happened to the rest of the crew.
How? Details! You torture me with the details.
Tell them as little as possible.
He picks up another piece of food.
Well, use we loosely. The captain chose the wrong town to plunder this time. Apparently, some great treasure there.
Indeed, that is part of the reason I'm sure he went there.
That's what we were told.
You know, if you simply must stand, the food is not poisoned. I am eating it as well. You must be famished. I'm sure you have not had quite a good as meal as this. Am I right there, Mr. Ugborn?
Ugbor's about halfway through his first plate and still loading on.
See,
There's good food.
see, your friends are fine. I am fine. The guards who insisted eat with me for company, they are fine. Surely we can have a pleasant or unpleasant conversation with food in our bellies, yes?
Hey, I have a question. Is he eating currently? This guy?
DeSource? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, he's been eating.
Okay.
Pale is like not eating. He's just sitting there.
Ugbor's just a madman.
You see the plates in front of your parents are also not filled with food, and they are sitting there.
What are they doing at the moment? Just
They're,
sitting there.
they're just sitting there. Your mother is just looking down and not looking up. Your father has looked like he wanted to say something a couple of times, but has not said anything. And he's gone between looking at his plate, looking at Tosavas, and looking at you back and forth.
Hey, I'm going to cast prestidigitation and make his food taste like shit.
Okay. All right. Anyway,
Would that fly with dispel magic?
well, no, the spell magic is a one-time wipe. It doesn't persist.
Yeah.
Okay. Does it require a somatic, or is it just verbal?
It's instantaneous.
Instantaneous. That's what I like.
Holy shit! I couldn't hardly say that with a straight face.
Prestidigitation.
No. Just the whole thing. I had to mute myself because I started laughing so much.
It's a
Not even tastes bad. He just wants it to taste like literal shit.
Yeah.
It's verbal and somatic, by the way. So you heard him mutter something quickly and then use a hand gesture, and then your magic was dispelled. Please, Mr. and Mrs. Hexania, and he's looking sideways at your parents now. Would you not like to welcome your son back into the family? And your mother very hesitantly looks up at you slowly. Your father looks at you. Hi there, son. You really should listen to what he's saying. He doesn't say anything else after that.
I don't pay any mind to them. I'm just like staring a hole through this guy. And slowly realizing that I fucking hate cats.
Now, what do we do now? And he starts to put another piece of meat in his mouth off the turkey, and then quickly spits it out. He takes his plate, picks it up, and then smashes it against the wall behind him.
I want to give Samael a mental high five.
Oh my god! I can't stop. I don't know why, dude. I just can't stop laughing. I've been on mute, just laughing.
So now he has no plate in front of him, and he takes his arms and puts his elbows on the table, one after the other, folds his
What?
paws.
When he spits that out, too, I'll be like, what was that about the food? Just kind of stabbing at him, being like, sit, eat, that's good. When's the last time you've had a meal like this?
No, if I'm not mistaken, this guy has to spell again. So like, it took, but you probably only got about one bite off.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Hey, listen.
He ignores your
trying to
comment for
just-
it.
He's trying to dispel a cantrip, and more power to him.
He ignores your comment and puts his chin on his hands. Now, what do we do? Huh? I think we have 3 likely options, and please feel free to put forth your own thoughts. But I think that we must do one of 3 things. We could bring you back into the family, have Tosvavas forgive as he does. Tosvavas is a just and right person. I obey what I have put in any agreements I have with people, and I expect the same obedience. So we could put you back with your family under the Tosvavas name, back in your position, and all is forgiven. But I see that you have strength, and that strength is useful and dangerous. So alternatively, we could come to a different agreement where you assist the Tidiku family in certain ways and perhaps pay off the debt that you Exonias have come to rack. And at this time he takes his his hand away again, his left hand, and puts it on top of your mother's head and begins to just tap his claws against her skull. And you see her physically recoil. If you were to do this, then maybe we could talk about debt repayment. The third option is that you would be counterproductive, and the guard next to him whispers, counterproductive, and he wags an appreciative finger at the guy. You could be counterproductive to the Tidiku family and have an outward malicious intent and force us to, how you say, extinguish this fire. Which option seems most agreeable to you, Mr. Boric?
So either death or servitude.
One way or another, just to... You know, it's only right to satisfy debts you have agreed to, or in this case, debts that you have inherited. Nonetheless, they are right and righteous debts, so they need to be balanced.
In the
So,
group chat.
While they're talking, can I try to perceive and see if the box is in here?
Yes, make a perception check.
Please.
19. You see the box you're looking for, the one you're familiar with, sitting in the chair next to Tosvavas on his right.
Like right there.
Yep.
Ugboard group chat says, "Hey man, if you want to choose death, I'm all for it.
Say,
We'll die together."
I don't like this cat.
Agreed.
I didn't like Winter Moon either, and I understand why now.
Let's figure out why the hell he has this box. We'll get rid of him. I don't like him.
I have many jobs that need to be done, many tasks. You could pick your own personal flavor. It would not be a great encumbrance, I don't think. You could even have fun with it if you want to.
What kind of jobs?
I have things. Sergey, please bring the docket. And this guard over here begins to walk back over here towards the table, find a few documents that he has laid out there with along with other things, and pick up something and then walk it back around to Tosvavas and hand him a folder, more or less. And Tosvavas takes it and puts it in front of him and opens it and looks through a couple different things. Just rounding off some examples here, we have No, I'll take care of that one personally. The biggest one. Are you familiar with the red dragon that gave the war such a hard time for a while there, centuries back? Decades, I guess, at this point.
I certainly am.
Yeah, quite familiar.
The hoard has never been recovered. We are assumptive that there was a inheritor to the cave where the dragon was. I would like this. I would like this very much. If I've sent several others on reconnaissance missions, they have not returned. If you could bring resolution to the den of the red dragon and bring any prizes back to Tosvavas, this would be acceptable. A matter of fact, this one task, if undertook, could pay the entire debt handily and put you in a great, gloriously good favor with Tosvavas.
To the group chat, of course, I'll like, Vorik, listen, I got a javelin. You say the word and this goes through his chest, but I kind of want that horn.
Well, let's not lose eyes on the prize.
I could provide direction, insight, maybe even some tools to this. Alternatively, and you see his hand go down the list, smaller objects. There is a certain individual who has cost me a little bit of gambling money in the arena. If you could force a loss, so to say, on this individual and help me regain some pride back amongst my gambling friends, that would be in my favor. There's also a property I'm trying to sell that has come into some hardships and needs to be cleaned. So these are some of the examples I will give. So you'll have this here, and he holds up the docket. He folds it back in closed and holds it up in one hand. You have this option to do some work for me to pay off your debt. He slaps on the table. You may go back into your place next to your parents and work it off slowly. Or I can simply nip a bad seed in the bud. You tell me what you think we should do here. What would you do in my sight? If you were here, Vorik, in this chair, behind these
jobs.
contracts, what would you do?
If we do these jobs, it clears my inherited debt, but also their debt as well.
We could work towards a multitude of things. As you're doing the smaller items, maybe we could focus the repayment individually. But, of course, we could expand into the entire family of Hixania.
To the group chat thing, I'll be like, what do you guys want to do?
We should figure out why he has the box still. It is a big glaring thing.
It is why we were
I
hired.
Is it
don't
here?
like this guy, but if he is, yeah, it's like right beside of him, like right here. If the box was supposed to come to him, then that's fine. But also don't want to leave your parents in debt with this, obvious madman.
The issue isn't them, it's that I'm technically indebted as well.
Yeah. But honestly, the odds don't look good for us right now.
Do you care about your parents for it?
They didn't seem to care about me.
So do you care about them?
I'm more worried about my debts, not theirs.
It seems if I, like, I know I'm an orc, but if I'm not mistaken here, it seems an awful lot like your parents are the reason you're indebted.
That would be accurate. I was born into it.
Not your problem.
So I want to address him again and be like, part of this deal. What's in the chest?
This is part of a solo adventure that I'm undertaking to follow up on your past captain's pursuits.
How did you come back?
What if I offer our assistance with that?
I do not think you're ready for this, and even if I thought you strong enough, I have a personal stake in this.
So, was the box supposed to be delivered to you?
He looks at you, Pell, very intently. What knowledge do you have of my parcel and its contents and intent?
Can I insight check?
Absolutely, you can.
Oh, I don't know shit. He's telling me the truth up and down.
No, hard to read, man.
All right, what did you say one more time? I'm sorry.
What do you know of his parcel and its intent?
Hold on.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
We know that the, so wait a minute, so like, the cat is out of the bag, right? Like Wintermoon, we are assuming Wintermoon has spilled the beans, and Tosvavas is sitting here knowing we were tracking that package. Am I understanding that correctly?
Make an insight check if you want.
I'm going to too. I'm done.
To the best of your guys' knowledge, Wintermoon led you here and had Tosavas be aware of the trap that was set. But Samael could probably assume that she told him as well things that she might have found interesting if it didn't benefit her personally, such as your investment with this box wouldn't be off the table, you'd imagine.
From what Helionaka told us, it was given from Rowanwood. I don't know. Might be wrong of me to assume, but I just figured it would go to another elf or something. I don't know what's inside of it or nothing. I'm not that good with locks or anything. I feel like hold up his big hands.
Sorry, what were you saying? I didn't quite hear.
He was saying that like where the person who had it beforehand was like elf, that he just kind of assumed it was going to be delivered to another elf, and that like he didn't know that it was didn't know anything about it.
Okay.
I'm back.
Okay.
Might be wrong of me to assume that, but
Well, apparently so. The elf was nothing more than a transient from one business partner to another. He looks around the room for a second at all four of you. The elf was sent by her patron, Miss. Let me think her name. Sorry, I have the note up. Where did it go? Miss Salien. Salien and I have had words, and I've come to an agreement. I am attempting to scratch her back, and she scratches mine. And he thinks for a second. Matter of fact, and he pulls the chair beside him out a little bit and reaches down and says a word that you can't quite hear under his breath, and dispels the magical lock on the box and opens it. He looks inside. Well, not quite what I was expecting, but at least it's out here. And he picks up a couple items from the box and lays them on the table in front of them. To kind of take inventory of them. Where'd it go? He picks up first a metal fork-looking object that is silver in metal but has a green sheen to it. Vork, make me a history check.
Real quick, what was that lady's name that Helionaka was sent by?
Salin. Let me go back to
Salin.
yeah, it is. Let me go back to my notes. No, notes. Where to go? That's not it. Saelihn.
Oh, fuck that up. It's what now?
Saelihn. Salin. Vork, you recognize the metal fork as one very similar, if not identical, to the one that was buried with your small friend outside of Hopewell Harbor. The one that you found in the Feywild.
Is it that one? That specific one?
Not sure. You're not sure. It's basically impossible to tell, but it looks very similar. The second item he places on the table is a scroll bound in a red cloth, like around the center of the scroll. The third and final item he places on the table seems to be an ox horn, partially sawn and then broken at the end of it, where it was connected to the rest of the animal. And on this horn, as he sets it on the table, you see that it's inscribed with various runes that are flashing greens occasionally. Tos Vavas is attending to his deal with this individual in an attempt to gain his own ends. I will say this much. He's looking very intently at all of you, especially Vork at this point. Looking at your reactions and your faces.
So it had a metallic fork.
Metallic fork, a scroll, and a runed horn.
Where did that fork come from?
This I cannot say. I was delivered the items and given my instructions, but I do not know beyond that. Do you know more? Something you can share with us, Vavas?
Oh, was that one more time? Sorry.
Do you know more? Is there something that you can share with Tos Vavas? Some kind of enlightening?
I remember anything about the fork.
Roll me. Well, you rolled history on that one, on the fork already. With an 18, no, you never learned anything about the fork.
I didn't think I did.
Detect magic.
Edward cast Detect Magic.
He just screams it. Detect magic.
That's how it works, right?
I'm still learning.
I mean, you can, but you have to study the item for 10 minutes.
Yeah, you'd have to be like, hey, can I use identify on this?
I just think
You could offer to identify it for him, or attempt to.
I was going to offer to identify for money.
yeah.
Dude looks fucking rich. Look at his rug. So, I could try to identify the object for you for some coin.
Oh, I know exactly what they are. If I have to, I can go to the source. But I know enough. Besides, I have many mages at my disposal. Thank you for your offer, though.
Not quite like me, cat.
No mage is quite like the other. This is for sure. But alas, your services are not needed. And he very quickly just, with one arm, scoops all 3 items back into the box and shuts it again. My personal business aside, what have we reached as far as a conclusion, Mr. Vorik? And he stands up. You see now that several of the guards have unsheathed their weapons, and most of them are holding scimitars or various style weapons.
So it's now or never, guys. What's the choice?
Dude, I could lay somebody out. I could force a loss in the arena.
We're pretty much going. We're pretty much going off your word here.
Yeah.
The guy beside me I can kill first thing.
It's on your command. We can take jobs from this guy and work for him, or we can kill this dude right now.
Now, if we were to help you do jobs, like, do we still get paid, or are we just paying into his debt?
It would depend. If you would request payment instead of a repayment into the debt, we could discuss the finer details. It is not impossible. Like I said, I have several small jobs, but if you were to complete the one Red Dragon quest and end that nightmare of a headache for me, I keep having to send good men to death for no reason. If you could tie a tight little bow on that one, that would be all I would need, and maybe more.
I personally think this is a decent relationship.
Yes. My inner selfishness tells me I want that money.
Let's do it this way.
But like I want that money.
Well,
Toast Bombas.
here's the thing. Right now, we have a very, very high chance of dying.
Yep.
Also, it's like that.
How about we take these jobs, lay them to allow us to get closer, and then we can take him out the way he would take us out.
Yeah, because still in the group chat.
All of it is in group chat.
But yeah, I feel like once we outlive our usefulness, he kind of won't have a use for us anymore.
Exactly. That's why we milk him for every coin we can get and go from there.
Teslavus begins to walk around the table and towards you. He's not holding anything, but he was walking towards you, and several of his guards are closing in and just positioning themselves. As he's walking, he's looking at Vorik directly.
Boar suddenly burps really loud and stands up from the table.
If I haven't done it already, I'm going to pull my hood back and pull my mask down.
He walks past Samael without paying him much mind. Eventually he gets... Are you going to shoulder check him?
Oh.
Yeah, dude, I am stopping him from approaching Vorik straight up. Like hardcore. He's not allowed.
You're going to stand directly in Teslavus' way, okay?
Yeah.
As you stand there, he looks down at you. He is probably a foot taller than you, Woodborn.
Jesus.
Boar is not frightened.
He
Puts on a
he raises his claw. He raises a paw up and puts it on your shoulder. Do you allow him to do that?
Udbor's dumb ears didn't hear anything. What?
Tosvavas is going to raise his left paw up and put it on your left shoulder. Do you allow
Okay.
this?
Yeah, I allow that.
Okay. I think it best you do not stand in such a way. I need you to make a. Let me look this up real quick.
Not wisdom, please. Not wisdom.
Where'd it go? Okay, I need you to make a wisdom save.
Of course. Okay. Oh,
15.
No, I thought you didn't have to
You
fight
hear the honeyed words of Tosvava seep into your ear, and you suddenly feel like, yeah, I really should just move a little off to the side.
I don't know, guys. He seems kind of honest.
And he pushes you
Suddenly.
gently out of the way with a polite suggestion and walks over to Vork, directly between you two. What is your decision? And he raises a hand up.
Raising the hand for what?
Like out for a handshake.
I want to reach over. I assume I'm just standing right behind this chair, right? Like,
Yes.
I know these are a tad bit exaggerated. I want to reach over. If he left those, like all the contracts, if he left them all on the table, I want to grab them.
They're on his side of the table in front of his chair.
Ah, piss. Let me see something here. Is it still dark?
Outside, inside this room, it is pretty well lit.
I'm going to give this tattoo a little workout and just walk through here and come over here and grab the contracts.
He allows you to go over and do this. He sees you briefly become not ethereal, but what's the word I'm looking for? Like immaterial. He watches you become immaterial and just walk casually through the table, get to the other side, rematerialize next to your parents, and pick up the folder.
Incorporeal is the way they explain it.
Thank you.
If that's what you're thinking.
Yes. I take it you are looking at the jobs, and that is your call?
For now.
If this is your choice, then we must take certain precautions and make certain celebrations, yes?
No. We're getting the jobs done.
Well,
We'll return back when they're done.
If you are to agree to this, then I am most amicable. Now, before you go, I need one thing from you, and this
Your lives.
this mage walks over behind you, and very obviously, not being sneaky or anything, he walks over behind you, and he pulls out a dagger and holds it straight up, looking at you calmly. I need you to present your hand to my assistant to collect just a portion of blood, just a tiny sample, for us to keep on hand to make it a little easier for you to track should you break contract. This would go for your associates, but they're not directly in line with the contract. This is simply an agreement between you and I. And he looks very hardly at you.
I want to reach my hand out like I'm going to let him do it, but I'm technically still incorporeal. So
Well,
He can-
no,
he
no,
can-
to pick up first off, the effect only lasts for 6 seconds with one charge expended, and it has been like 8 at this time at least. Plus, you would have had to become rematerialized
To pick it up,
to pick
yeah.
up the thing. Yeah. So, are you using a secondary charge to mess with this guy for a second?
No, I'll save it for this. I'm not gonna let him do it though.
So, what do you
Take the
mean? I
dagger
can use?
forward. Take the dagger.
I don't trust what's on his dagger.
He can use your dagger if you prefer. It is simply a tool.
Actually, if you want, I can cleanse the dagger for you.
This is fine, if you insist.
Vord.
Trying to look for something. Would I like deny that dagger and let mine appear in my hand?
One of your psychic daggers.
Yep.
Okay. So
Where do they want blood? Like, what are we on the contracts?
No. My assistant will collect in a vial, and you see in his other hand where he's holding a dagger up in his right hand. The assistant has a vial uncorked in his right hand.
I guess reverse that dagger in my hand and just squeeze the blade side over that.
Okay. So what's the damage on your psychic daggers? I forget.
1d6 plus 5.
Okay. So go ahead and roll that damage on yourself.
You gotta take away that sneak attack
Mhm.
if it hits it.
Crit yourself in the eye.
Yes. So you take 8 damage.
Hey, can I
As
can
you
I soil blood?
I suppose so. You squeeze the dagger into your hand and feel the damage of that. And as you release to let the blood flow, you forget that the dagger is causing no physical damage, so there's no blood.
Well, I figured like squeeze it around it and it would let it drop then. And then when I release at that point, it goes away.
I mean, as far as I can tell, the description of the psionic knives say that there is no physical damage done. Like they take the point damage, but there's no external marks. You can tell me if I was wrong, but
You just bruise the fuck out of your hand.
Essentially, yeah.
yeah, unless you can tell me something I missed, then yeah, you took the damage, and when you open your hand, there's no mark on your hand.
I know that it leaves no trace.
Right. Let me look it up real quick, just to be sure.
You may be right. That sounds right. I'm trying to find it on here and I can't hear what you're saying.
You can manifest your psionic shimmering blades of energy whenever you take the attack action. Manifest the psionic blade in your free hand. Make the attack with that blade. On a hit, it deals psychic damage equal to 1d6 plus ability modifier on attack roll. The blade vanishes immediately after it hits or misses a target and leaves no mark on its target. So immediately after it hits, so as soon as you begin to squeeze, you take the damage and then nothing happens.
Then it would okay, yeah.
Yeah, it basically evaporates.
We're good. We good.
Your hand just hurts.
The mage looks at you and raises an eyebrow and then offers his dagger again.
Maybe I have no blood.
The mage in front of you says, "We'll see about that." He very politely and carefully grabs your hand, raises his dagger up.
If he grabs my hand, I want to try to disarm him.
You want to disarm him?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. How does that happen?
That's what I was trying to. Is it like?
I'm seeing a lot of like non-official things for disarming in 5e.
I don't know if there's anything on D&D Beyond.
Yeah, there's nothing official on how to disarm somebody. Let's just say this. How do you disarm the person? Are you trying to take his knife from him?
Yes. Just
Okay.
that knife specifically.
Okay. So,
Dustin, the Dungeon Master's Guide, page 271.
okay.
The creature can use a weapon to knock a weapon or another item from a target's grasp. The attacker makes an attack roll contested by the target's strength or dexterity.
Thank you. So yeah, we can do that if you
So
want.
not a damage roll, but an attack roll.
Yeah. So you roll to hit with an unarmed strike, in this case, and try to knock the dagger out of his hand. And he would have to resist with his strength roll. 13. Okay. And what's his modifier on that? Okay. So as he goes to draw blood on you, you smack the knife out of his hand. He was not expecting it, so the dagger just flies out of his hand and across the table, landing at the. Well, basically, it flies across and lands right here in that chair.
So it worked. I just didn't grab the dagger. Awesome.
Well, according to what Anthony said, it was just to knock it out of his hand. If you wanted to try and take it from his hand, it would be in a contested strength check.
That's fine. That's fine.
But as you do that, Totsvavas looks at you. No, was there any need for that? That's just rude. Do you agree or do you not?
I'll take one of my normal daggers and
Mm-hmm.
poke a little bit and give him some blood.
As you slice your hand and then start to draw blood, the mage grabs your hand, turns it over, and squeezes it against the opening of the vial. And a few drops, just enough to make maybe a half of an inch in the bottom of the vial, the small cylinder, before he lets your hand go and corks the vial, puts it in his vest, and then walks back to his post where he thinks he should be.
Hey, can I cast prestidigitation on his blood before he puts it in the vial?
Let's see.
What, like alter it?
Yeah.
Or like even while he's like walking away or something.
Okay, it is 10 feet range, first off.
Yeah, he's what, like 35 feet from me, isn't
Yep. Mm-hmm.
he? Okay.
So you're
Right,
out of range.
I'll be right back real quick.
Right.
I tried, buddy. He's now their slave.
If he's telling the truth, it's just for tracking purposes. Should we, turn tail? If he's telling the truth.
Couldn't imagine he's telling the truth about anything.
Oh, cat.
Little kitty cat. I'm gonna have to pee real quick.
Yeah, can we take like 5?
Yeah, sure. Let's take 5 real quick.
Awesome. Be right back.
Yeah. While Piggy smoke a cigarette. I'm stressed.
Yeah, I didn't know if you were going to be rerolling characters tonight or not.
Daddy to surprise real quick while he's on break? She made you a surprise, Daddy.
Okay, I'm back when everybody else is.
I'm here.
Okay. We've taken 5, and I'm back. The other guys are not yet.
Okay. I mean, if they're not yet. Anybody here? Anybody here? Yada yada. Blah blah blah. Blah blah blah.
No.
Is he like a Leonin?
No, he's straight up presenting as a tiger right now.
Straight up presenting as a tiger.
Mm-hmm.
Is he wear a tiger?
No, I told you what he was.
I have an idea what he is.
Dustin.
But I'm not using that.
Oh, I don't mean I'm not going to use it for this. I just didn't know for curiosity's sake. Vork don't know. I mean, Vork probably would know, I guess. Would Vork know?
Yeah, but Vork would know based on what he's heard and hearsay and things.
So what is he?
So, I have a question. While he was like walking, could we have like observed him a little bit more?
Sure. What did you want to particularly observe?
Hands.
His hands?
Yeah.
He did reach out to, he put one on Ugbor and reached out to shake mine, so you should have had a good look at him.
Yeah, I mean, he's not holding anything. His hands are, they are furred much like a tabaxi, but, just normal 5-fingered hands.
But like they're both like the left hand and the right hand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. There goes my theory.
So what was he again?
So in my head, I thought he was a Rakshasa.
A Rakshasa.
Yeah. Which would have sucked for me and Cody.
Well, Vork would know that he's a Rakshasa.
I have returned.
I went and got a light ball.
To deal with this orange one?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's about poetry,
So,
Yeah. How you guys feeling?
Scared. Scared by Momo.
Is Cody back, or are we still waiting on Cody?
I think we're still waiting on Cody.
Yeah. He can probably hear us, he just can't talk.
Right.
When the fuck do we get a proficiency bonus upgrade again?
All right, here we go. Fuck it, we're doing this. We're just playing.
Hell jumps in front of the way.
Bill's like, for the love of God, no.
No. Please, no. No.
Oh, I totally forgot to pause that, so our 5-minute breaks in the recording, whatever.
Do we still have that thing to talk to Brewster?
Yeah.
I had that.
Yeah, the stone's still in your inventory. You haven't lost it yet. Could have lost it on the boat, but you didn't.
I didn't remember what the fuck it was. Like a sanding stone or something, right?
Yep,
Yeah.
it's standing stone. Yep.
You talk about that. That's how that Baja Blast one is going to be. They said it's a seltzer or whatever.
I will probably drink it because I do love Mountain Dew, as awful as it is for you.
I joke with the guys at work, because it's a rehab, and I'm like, well, who's going to give me a bed?
Coming here.
Yeah, I'll be here. I was talking to him about it today, and he's like, well, fuck. He's like, I'll be back in 6 months, I guess.
I was doing good.
He's like, shit.
12 years sober. The only thing I loved was Baja Blast from Taco Bell.
That's what we were talking about. He's like, damn it.
Crazily enough, there is in Huntington. There's this place called I think it's called the Peddler, and they brew their own beers there, and they have brewed a beer with Mountain Dew. The brew is called Mountain Dome.
Mountain Dome.
Please don't drink this.
Yeah, don't.
A buddy of mine, or not a buddy of mine, my brother-in-law had it last night. He actually said, surprisingly, he thought it was going to be like a gag drink, but he says it's actually good. It tastes like beer. You get a little bit of hint of Mountain Dew, but it works.
I mean, it's probably better than, I fucking hate Blue Moon. I don't understand why you have to have, an orange to make a beer taste better.
Do you like shandies?
No. I'm not very high class. Not a very high class guy when it comes to drinking.
That's fair. That's fair. How about Stella Artois?
Do what now?
Stella Artois. It's kind of the other direction. It's really strong.
I think
beer.
I've sometimes drink those when people have had them at parties.
Dude, do they or do they not smell like skunk weed?
Man, I think almost all beers smell and taste like piss.
That sounds accurate.
There's something unparalleled though after you've had a really long shitty day to just come home and drink a beer. It's cathartic in some reason.
I have a question.
Good.
Does Taylor know that you volunteered her to draw all of our?
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Just
Yeah,
making sure.
she's been drawing this like kobold that she wants to play.
Fuck yeah.
And I told her, I was like, I kind of volunteered you to draw, and she was like, I suck at drawing. I was like, well, I mean, everybody in the group likes it, so.
Better than any of us are.
Yeah.
Vorik, while I'm thinking about it, make me a history check on everything in that box that you saw.
I keep going to history. Like, give me something of a bonus here. Damn. See?
Okay, no, you don't recognize anything immediately.
Damn.
You're gonna get lucky.
I actually thought about getting it. I thought about getting it. I actually thought about getting Keen Mind too, and I was like, do I want to do this to Dustin?
I won't let it happen.
I was like, do I want to do this? And I keep jumping past it. I'm like, maybe. And then I got fucking crazy the other night, which is how I messed up my damn health. I multi-classed again, like I was fucking around with leveling up. No, we're not doing that. It got crazy, and I was like,
No, dude. Like, you kind of just stretch it out too thin after you multi-class like more than once, really.
well, that's what it was, because you got to get to level 3 before you get like a lot of the good stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's 3 levels I'm wasting that I could throw into a row.
The one I don't agree with is fucking. I don't think bards should get theirs that late, and I don't think paladins should. Paladins should, like, straight from the go be able to do their, like, oaths and stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense for a paladin to, like, start off at, like, level 1 and then at level 3 be like, oh yeah, I can take an oath now.
Okay, yeah. I am a man of God. I just don't know which one.
Alright. Oh, goodness, God.
I'm a man of God, just not sure which God.
Man, I'll tell you, that triad pop really be going at me. Really be hitting these days.
Cody was getting into some squid over there.
Mm-hmm. Stella Artois over there.
Okay,
What about you, cat dude? You want some of this?
just somebody else just over just blasting it up here, man.
Yeah, man. Thought I was gonna die, might as well.
In a bucket here.
Yeah, dude, seriously.
Peace pop.
come on.
Peace pop here.
I know cats like you, bro. Come on.
well, thank you, Mr. Vorik, for your contractual obligation.
Hey, did you let him fuck with my blood? I missed that part.
It's too far away.
Too far away.
Okay. All right, we're good.
Now, take note that those Vabas can find you regardless. This time, Miss Moon was contracted to bring you home alive. Next time, if needed, and I would assume that it is not needed, but let's pretend for a second it was. If it was, I could have her or any number of my employee to track you down and just snuff you on the spot. If you succeed once, I'll send another, and another, and another.
I want to walk across the table. I'm not facing through it this time. I'm literally stepping on the motherfucking table.
Okay.
And then just be like, next time you receive another box with their head in it.
You act like this would bother me.
And then I'll just keep going.
Do you have any questions? Any predispositions before you make off with my dossier of current jobs?
Yeah. So, in that stack there, you mentioned something about a fight in the arenas. You needed somebody to lose.
I mean, Mr. Big Swinging Dick over here seems to think he has the knowledge on what's going on, but if you wanted to sit down and discuss the individual details, we could certainly do this.
You know, let me think about. I'm gonna have to say, never mind. I'll just get the details from my buddy.
Well, I turn around and be like, I assume everything I need to know is in these.
I don't know. Is it?
If you are how I know you are, then it is.
You want to look at the notes?
Read them notes. Read them.
All right, I open it up.
Okay. Make an investigation check then. Looking at the notes, you flip in the book, and there are just a few pages in there, probably 4 or 5 pages. Most of them just have basic titles on them, and short descriptions with little bulleted notes with certain names, locations, details about amount of money owed, or things of that nature. There's no description on how much money each job is worth. There's no description on how valuable each target is to Toslavas or any of those details.
What?
I can finally breathe again, guys.
So we didn't really figure out a lot there. I'm just gonna look at him from here. We're not sitting down. I'll be like,
Mm-hmm.
what's the gist on the jobs then?
Let's assume that we divide your. He looks back to your parents and then back to you. Your debt into fifths. Most of the common jobs, the ones that are not denoted with my symbol next to them, would count towards a fifth of your debt. The dragon debt on the front page would count for 7/5 of your debt. There are some marked with an asterisk on some pages. They would count towards 2/5 of your debt. Now, there are some to deal with some people, there are some with reclaiming some treasures, there are some to simply end a task of mine. Most of the details are in there if you can transcribe my common shorthand, but I'm always available if you need assistance.
So names, location.
I would hate to interpose, but if we got in trouble, could I have a spell to get in contact with you?
I would entertain this.
I hate to interpose, only if you would allow it.
Anything else before you leave?
What about a place to stay?
Not in the contract.
Well, obviously, these are not gonna be done in a day.
That is not my concern.
Big city, or we could probably.
You could be a rich man and still sleep with the rats, for all I care.
I need that to trigger something in Vorik. Not like piss him off, but like he mentioned rats, and he's gonna be like, "Oh yeah, we'll start right away for that." Fine then. I'm just gonna turn around and start to walk out. This dude's in my way, and we'll fucking use my tattoo and just face through him in the door altogether.
You can face through him and walk through him in the door. The other guys cannot, and they're standing there looking at him. Please escort our guests out of the compound, please. And the guard who is standing there in front of the door moves to open the door, and you walk through. and he escorts you walking through back the way you came out of the compound, except for the part where you reach the exterior wall, where he will then walk you around to a door and walk you out the back door of the compound. You find yourselves back in the main city of Sunder, outside of the Tidiku compound, the Tidiku den, and the sun has risen, but it is still morning.
Guys, that fucking sucked.
And right there as well, we will end our session for today.
Roar.